this is Jordan the Tattooed Stitcher. I'm back for another Flosstube update. It's been 2 weeks since my last video. I can't believe it. Actually, the time went by scarily fast. Sorry, truck driving by. I hope everybody has had a good rest of your September and first week of October. We're officially in fall. The leaves are gold. The bushes are red. It's gorgeous. We have had the most beautiful weather the last few weeks. It's been mid 70s every day. It's a little bit colder today. It's just about 70 today. Colder, about 70, but I'm perpetually freezing. So I've already got all my sweaters out for the season. I first wanted to just send out my love and well wishes to everybody who's been affected by Hurricane Helene and everyone who is in the path of Hurricane Milton. And I hope that it doesn't get as large as they're estimating it. And I'm really just thinking about all of you over there. And my prayers are with you for sure. So that being said, I will get back to what you're here for, which is my cross stitching. I do have a few finishes to show. One of my finishes I actually had finished before my last video, but I had forgotten to show it. And that is America from Little House Needleworks. This is stitched on 32 count. It was a piece of fabric that Bernadette had given to me last year for my birthday. So I don't think it has a name. It was part of like a collection of fabrics, and it's the 32 count, and I stitched it with one strand over 2 threads. And I was going to outline the house, but I don't know that it needs it. Once it's got like some like cotton, the warm and natural like batting behind it and put in a frame, I don't think there will be an issue in seeing it. It just looks kind of sparse being held up like this with nothing behind it. But I really, really love this chart. I had so much fun stitching it, and I can't wait to display it as soon as I find a frame for it. And then my next 2 finishes are also new starts that you have not seen yet. The first one, what is this called? Bats in the Belfry from the Drawn Thread. And so that chart comes with the long version, and then it also comes with a miniature version, and that's what I stitched. And this is stitched on, it's this same fabric as the America from Little House Needleworks. It's a 32 count and from Nicholas Flamel. Did I even say the name before? I can't remember. And I stitched it with one floss strand over 2 fabric threads. And it's got a couple specialty stitches. The bat's wings are all satin stitches, and the acorns, you do the crosses and then you do satin stitches over the top of the crosses. I think it's acorns, but it turned out super cute. I really love the way that it looks. I don't know if I'll turn it into a pillow or like a little ornament for my Halloween tree. That's a problem for next year. And then the other project I started was a kit that I bought from Shepherd's Bush 3 years ago. I think it was 3 years ago. Maybe 2 years ago. I can't remember. A while ago, regardless. And so I can't remember if this has a name or not, but it is a Shepherd's Bush pattern, and the kit came with all the thread and the buttons. The spiders are buttons, and then there's a star button here. Came with all the threads and this little bag. And I was just kind of going through my kits because I was like, I don't know what to stitch on. I want something like snack size. And I stitched this in a day. Like, it was really easy. And it's so cute. And so it's just a little pouch. I do think that I will iron some interfacing on the back of there though, just to keep any stitches from coming unstitched. And I thought it'd be really cute to keep all my little scissors and notions and things in for Stitch West. But it's so cute. And I do remember the pattern said something about this bag being specially made for Shepherd's Bush for this chart. So I thought that was kind of cool. And there's my finishes. I did bring an old finish up. I know I've shown it on my channel before. Oh, I don't want to grab it. It's like barely teetering on this thing. But this was one of my very first I think this was the first Halloween project I ever stitched. So I don't remember the name of it, and I gave away the pattern a long time ago. Bobbing for Pumpkins, I think. It's a width eye needle, and it's stitched on 32 count Lugana that I had dyed myself with all the called for over dyed threads. And I love it so much. I had it framed at Hobby Lobby. It was been at least 5 years since I stitched that. I had it framed at Hobby Lobby, and I entered it into the fair one year, and it got a first place ribbon. It's one of my most favorite things to put out every year. I love it so much. Don't mind. Ironing board is up. There's piles of fabric behind me. I'm in the middle of more bags for Stitch West and for posting on Instagram. Thank you to everybody who bought a bag the other day when I listed. They were sent out yesterday, so you should be getting those later this week. And now we'll get into my whips. I have many whips, many new starts, so I'm just gonna start grabbing onto them. And as usual, in no particular order did I stitch these. So this is a project I actually stitched on before my last video, but I'd forgotten to show it, probably because I didn't stitch on it for very long. This was back when it was like sampler September. I'm gonna stitch on my samplers. I stitched on 2, I think. It's okay. They're not going anywhere. They're right here. So I briefly stitched on My Early Days from Plum Street. And I believe all I did was the deer and the bird on him. Oh, and I did a little doggy. Okay, I did a little more than I thought. And this is being stitched on 40 count Old Sheep from X-Jude Designs. And so I did that. The little deer and the bird. I don't think his antlers are even done yet. I've got a few more to do on him. And that little doggy. The deer doesn't look very big, but like that took me all day. It's kind of dense. So that's all I did on that one. Oops. Okay, and then another project I worked on the past 2 weeks was my sale at the Bubbling Cauldron. I've been feeling really guilty about this project because I started it. I was stitching it with Bernadette, and she finished hers like a millennium ago, it feels like, and it's absolutely amazing. You have to go look at it. It's a couple videos back, and she stitched it on 32 count, and it's so good. Oh, it's so pretty. So I was like, okay, I'll get mine out and I'll put a little something, something into it. It's its season. I'm stitching mine on 40 count Gayless from Fabrics by Stephanie. And so let's see. Since the last time you saw it, I worked on this for 2 days. I basically did this whole section here. So this will have backstitch on it, and there's still more stuff to go. All this gets filled in. So I actually did all this around the door too. I did these pumpkins. I did all of this house. The colors are so fun. This is a really fun project. And I know once it's done, I will love having it to display, but I don't know why I struggle wanting to stitch on it. And then briefly, I stitched on my, what is this called? My Autumn at Hawk Run Hollow. I did not do very much. I pulled it out and started stitching on it and was like, I'm not in the mood for this. But I'm on this block with the apple tree. What did I do? I did this squirrel and the tops of these acorns, and I brought this border down and around and up, but ran out of thread. That's all I did. It was only like, I don't know, maybe 30 minutes. And I was like, I don't want to stitch on this either. But it's okay. Again, these are not going anywhere. They're fine to just sit here until my mood strikes. Okay. I think those are all. No, this one's a whip. I think this is probably my last whip that I worked on. I don't know where my chart. I don't know where my chart is. My room is a mess right now. This is the Gather In. I guess I could show my iPad picture. Once I take pictures on my charts, like the charts just, they walk away. They walk away, they disappear, they hide themselves. So I'm usually just left with one of the pictures that I have of it on my iPad. Okay, the Gather In. I'm sure you're all familiar. This is a very popular Paulette chart. Okay, the Gather In from Plum Street Sampler. I stitched quite a bit on this because I was just loving it, loving it, loving it. I could not stop. I wanted to keep going, and it's still on a hoop because I keep it downstairs. It's just one of those wonderful projects for when you're watching a show that you kind of have to pay attention to. It's got so much fill-in, like I could put 6 strands of white in. So I've gotten quite a bit done. I got the house almost fully outlined. I just had to bring it down. This is like the barn with the pumpkins all in it, and there's like a horse standing here. But I got the quilt barn and the barn quilt star on the top of the house done. And I was just doing all these windows, and this detail in the house took some time, and then I started here. And okay, my chart will look different. There's no pumpkins on this side at all, but I thought it was a little lacking, and so I just stole a couple pumpkins and put them over here to kind of I just wanted more. I wanted more pumpkins. Oh, and this is being stitched on 36 count aged hazelnut from XG Designs. I love it so much. I don't even mind that it's got so much fill-in. For some reason, the fill-in on this one is so soothing. I just love it. It makes me happy. And I'm avoiding doing the pumpkins here because it's like a reward for doing fill-in. I'll go down and I'll do some green, and then I'll do some white, and I haven't touched the roof yet. The roof is a little daunting. That's all one color. That's a lot of stitches, but it's okay. So there, I think that is my last whip that is not a new start. Oh no, it's not actually. It's not. Guys, I stitched on a lot of things. I also stitched on the Reverend, I think, since the last time you saw it. And here is where that looks like. It's all done except for the white house and a little bit of roof. So he's so cute. This is stitched on 36 count chai from Seraphim Fabrics. And I'm using some of the colors that are called for and some of the colors that Lori Holt changed to. And she does give that conversion on her YouTube channel from like last year. And then I also did a little bit more on my Stacy Nash Blackwater Hollow. And I did make a color change to this. So the last time you saw it, oh sorry, this is being stitched on 36 count chai from Seraphim. I need more chai in my life. I need like a yard of it. So that might be a purchase imminent coming. Anyways, I was originally stitching the black in this chart with a silk from Ymir almond M&Ms called Raven that Sarah, Memphis Sarah E had gifted to me. But it was only silk I was using, and I could tell that it was a lot puffier than the cottons around it, and it was like bugging. So I ended up pulling out what I had done with it and changing it to my most favorite black ever. I've used this black on so many projects just this year. It is my favorite black. I've got like 5 skeins of it. It's called Drosselmeyer from Color and Cotton. I don't know if the variegation is coming off for you, but it's like black with like undertones of slight beigey green, gray. Oh, it's perfect. I love it so much. So I switched to that black and I'm much happier with it. So I got all the way to the top. I just need to go across, and then I got the fence all the way across to the bottom. So it's almost fully enclosed. And then I added some flowers, some of these orange flowers and vines. I got the cauldron outlined. Oh, this is such a good project. What is that orange? Now I'm curious. Ginger snap. Oh, that's a good orange. Love that. Okay. So now that's officially the last of my whips, and the rest are all... Oh, did you guys just hear my back crack? Holy crap. Now it's all new starts. Okay. Okay. New start number 1. There are a few. I started because of Christy. It's always because of Christy. It's always because of Christy. She just posted on her Instagram crosshatch quilts this finish, and I was like, all right, yep. And I started it that day. And it's Boo to You from With Thy Needle and Thread, of course. And it's so freaking cute. I'm stitching this on 36 count Milk and Honey from Fiber on a Whim, and I'm stitching this with a full floss conversion because I don't think I had any of the called fors. Oh, I did have a couple of the called fors. It's like half called for and half from stash. It is so cute. I hope that you can see this. The linen, or it's called light khaki, I think, is a little bit hard to see in this lighting, but like when I'm stitching it, you can see it. It's just fine. I loved doing that skirt. It's so cute. It was so fun to stitch that skirt, and I love the effect that it has. This is such a good dirty white. I think it's called light khaki from Weeks. But it's so cute. Look, you can see part of a sacrificed project, an abandoned project that I just cut away. It's perfect. But look, the fabric's not being wasted. It's being used for something adorable. I love it. So I'm really loving working on these smaller projects. It's like, because I have so many big, humongous ones, I love having these little ones as like little snacks in between. They're less overwhelming to add than like a humongous thing. Okay, and my next new start was Lollies, Crows, and Candy Corn from With Thy Needle. And I'm stitching this on 36 count flax from Zweigart. Who even am I to stitch on something so basic? But it's okay because it looks really good. So this is huge. It's supposed to be a pillow. And the called for is on 36. So I was like, I'm fine with doing it on 36. It's just going to be a really large pillow, and that's okay. It's so cute. The pumpkin is just DMC, but the pumpkin's cheeks are fragrant cloves from Gentle Art, and I don't feel like there is enough difference. There's enough contrast in the cheeks and the pumpkin. So I might pick that out and change it to something else, because if you look at the chart, the cheeks look, holy glare, the cheeks look quite dark compared to the pumpkin. But if anything, the cheeks on mine are lighter. Dye lot issues or something. So I might redo the cheek part and change it to like maybe Ginger Snap, or what's that color I'm thinking of? I've got like 15 oranges out on different projects. I could just pull from any of them. So there's that. I think it's really, really cute. I finished that pumpkin not last night, but the night before. So cute. Okay, and then another new start. This is my most recent new start. Is another Enabled by Christy. Christy and Olivia both stitched this, and it's just so good. It's Houses of Berry Chapel Road. I don't know what that's supposed to mean. It's called Turkey Hollow Farm, but the Houses of Berry's Chapel Road. None of the other charts say that are like similar like this, like Christmas at Hollyberry Farm and Halloween at Hollyberry Farm and Summer at Hollyberry Farm. Like, when you think this would be like Autumn at Hollyberry Farm, but it's called Turkey Hollow Farm. So I'm not sure what the deal is with the naming, but who even cares, right? I'm like rambling about unimportant things, but it's so cute. And I'm stitching this with most of the called fors. I didn't have just a few. I think there's only 3 threads that I didn't have that I subbed. And I'm stitching this on 40 count vintage lentil from Lakeside Linens. Oh, I love it. I stitched it on this. I was stitching on this last night. I hope that these colors are really coming through for you, because there's so much gold. This border is in Schneckley, and this vine work is all in Palomino. It's so much gold and browns, and it's just pure autumn goodness. And I love this fabric. This fabric is incredible. Just look at the modeling in it. It's so pretty. I tried to get a fabric that did similar vibes in the modeling, and I love it so much. It's so pretty. Oh, I can't wait to have it done. I can't wait to actually get to that golden house. The golden house is so good. I'm getting close to the turkey. I'd like to get the border all the way finished on the side before I do any more fun bits. Like, I'll do tons of vine and border, and then like 1 pumpkin, and then tons of vine and border and the puppy, and then more border and more vines and flowers. And I keep trying to switch so that momentum can keep going. And then my last new start was actually a gift from Bernadette. Burn Stitches. She gifted this to me for my birthday, and it is Harvest Moon from Annie Bees. This was a new release this fall. I love this chart so much, and there are so many people starting it right now, and that's so much fun. She gifted me all of the called for threads. I might be making a change though. So I got this, I shamelessly stole this idea from Jessica, the Sweetwater Stitcher. So the house is stitched in this color called Witching Hour, which is a beautiful, almost purpley toned black brown. But I might change it to this color and cotton Midnight, which is like a super deep, rich blue. So that's a potential change. But otherwise, all the rest are called for. And she even gifted me this fabric to start it on, which is 40 count Eureka from Fox and Rabbit. So I know the called for is Sleeping Bear from Needle and Flax. Good luck finding any. If you find any, buy a mountain of it. And I thought that the preview and pictures of it stitched, the fabric looks very goldy yellow. And I actually really loved that. Sleeping Bear is not that goldy yellow in person. It's more brown. And so I thought Eureka was a really gorgeous autumnal yellow. And this is how far I got on it. And you guys are gonna punch me, okay? So this is one day of stitching on it. But I'm gonna restart it. Throw your shoe at me, throw tomatoes at me. It's fine, okay? But the problem is, I love 40 count, but I'm still learning. I'm still learning things about myself and my stitching, okay? I think I said this in the last video regarding to colors of fabrics. I'm still learning, and I've learned that I don't like when a project has so much dense stitching doing it on 40 because it feels very tight. It feels very tight to me. And I feel like when you look at it like this way, that my stitches look lumpy and clumpy and not nice because it's so tight. I don't know. I have ordered Eureka in the 36 count from Kitten Stitcher, but I don't know if I'm up for restarting it this year. It might be like a later, like a next year thing, because it's kind of like disappointing to stitch so much and be like not happy with how it's looking. I don't know. We'll see. Because I've got other things planned to start later, and now I'm just kind of like died off on the motivation for it. Eventually you'll always stitch it 100%. This is one of my favorite charts ever. But the fabric is an issue. And maybe that's me being picky. I don't know. But this is a large chart, and I can't bring myself to stitch on something for so long and not enjoying every stitch. Life is too short. So, pending plans there. But I think the fabric and threads are going to be gorgeous. Lay flat. Okay. That is officially all of my whips and new starts and finishes. Woohoo! So I'll do a little bit of haul. I don't have a ton because I am going to Stitch West in a couple of weeks. Okay, so my haul was pretty basic. I got some more of my favorite hoops, and I have gotten, I've gotten a lot of questions about my hoops. So let me really quickly just answer them here. So my favorite hoop is the Nerge. This is a Nerge number 7. This is an 11-inch hoop. In the medium, I think it's 16 millimeters. My second favorite hoop is the Nerge, I think this is a number 6. Nerge number 6, which is a 10-inch hoop. See, 10 and 11. These are my favorite hoops. I get them off 1-2-3 Stitch because they're the best price, because they are not made in the United States. And they're relatively cheap. I think I paid $13, $14 for each of these hoops. And then the number 6s are $13 each. I just ordered 2 more of those because they were out of stock for a long time, and they came back in stock, and so I grabbed 2 more. So what I do with my hoop is, with the medium size, the 16 millimeter, you want to use a 1/2 inch wide cotton twill tape. I get this off Amazon. This was $6 for how many yards of it? Doesn't say on here, but I think it was 100 yards. 50 yards maybe? Very cheap. Sorry. Wrappers. Very simple. I wrap the inner hoop with cotton twill tape because I feel like it cushions my stitches a bit and it makes me get my fabric super, super tight. I want it so tight I could stand on it when I'm stitching. I don't know where the end of this is. I was gonna do a little demo. Okay. We'll see how I can do this. Okay, so basically you just start at the end, okay? And you just wrap it. Yes, you have to, put the roll of cotton tape through, but you just wrap it like this. So you don't want them overlapping and you don't want them gapped out. You want it touching, but not overlapping. And you wrap and you wrap and you wrap all the way around just like that. I use chip clips to like hold my place so that it doesn't come unraveled, obviously. And then when you get to the end and you have your other piece, I just will kind of lay, like I'll lay the other end that's coming up from this side, I'll kind of lay it on top of the other piece so like the two are meeting. And then I get just a thread and I whip stitch it all together, and then I'll do some stitches on either side to kind of hold them together so that they stay, it stays all on the hoop. That's all you have to do. It's very easy. It's my favorite. It's my favorite method of, sorry, there are like 8,000 box elder bugs on this window right now and it's grossing me out. Anyways, it's very easy. I feel like it's a cheap method. I mean, hoops are pretty cheap anyways, but I just really, it's what I'm really enjoying stitching with right now. And they fit in my Lowry stand perfectly. No issue there. Much better than a Q-snap. I can't stand using a Q-snap in my Lowry. It does not hold it. So there's that, some hoops. So I've got 2 more hoops and the other side's coming to me. And then I got the, oh gosh, the remaining threads that I needed for a start I'm doing next month. I'm going to start, I don't have the chart yet. I'm getting it. I'm getting it. I'm starting Christmas Garden from Blackbird Designs. And so I already had Calico Kitty, but I needed Fool's Gold, Heirloom Gold, and Endive. I don't know what I'll be stitching it on yet, but I saw it stitched. It was on the brag table at Acorns, and it's ridiculously pretty. And so many of you have stitched it, and I would really like to at least get it started. I'm not a big Christmas stitcher. I don't know. I don't stitch a lot of Christmas. I'd much rather stitch fall and Halloween, but this doesn't feel overly Christmas. It's kind of like Christmas at Hollyberry Farm doesn't feel overly Christmas, but it's still, seasonal. So I got the rest of the threads I needed for that. And then I wanted to get a piece of this fabric I've been eyeing. And it's a 36 count Fiber on a Whim Cafe au lait. And it's so pretty. It's such a perfect crusty, musty, neutral, grayish brown. It's so pretty. It's got some kind of greeny splotches through here. I love it. And that is all of my haul. Okay, so I think it's now life stuff. We've just been doing the same things: school, dance, hunting season. There was lots of hunting, but it is over. It is finally over. Thank you. Oh, by the end of hunting, I'm like, okay, I've gone on 4 or 5 weekends of no help. It's by the last of it, you're like, and we're done. Officially checked out. So I'm glad to have that done. So this past weekend was the first weekend my husband was home, like that we were home together at the same time since August. So that was kind of weird, almost feeling, because it had been so long. And we just wanted to do nothing. I wanted to do nothing. I wanted to watch movies and eat snacks and cook lots of good food and stitch. And that's what we did. That's what we did. So, I'm trying to think. We ended up watching, also, okay, this kind of ties into shows. So I've been watching The Rings of Power, the new season 2, and the finale. So I watched 2 episodes since I saw you last. The second to last episode and the finale episode. And they were incredible. I can't believe how good this season was. I can't wait to watch it again. This entire season was absolutely fantastic. And the final episode was everything I wanted it to be, except to end. So it was so good. And I was still just like in loader mode and I wanted to watch more of it. So we watched all of the Lord of the Rings extended edition only because that's the only way to watch them. Fight me on this. And then we watched the Hobbit movies, extended versions. And we still have the 3rd one left because that's a lot of movie hours. We just ran out of time. So we just had so much fun watching these movies all weekend and being potatoes on the couch. And we did some smoked chicken quarters one night for dinner, and we smoked a rack of ribs one of the nights, and I made a peach cobbler and had some ice cream with it. And it was a really perfect weekend, and the weather was fantastic. And we sat out at our fire pit one of the nights after the kids had gone to bed and just had the fire on, and it's just been such a great weekend and weather to be able to do all of this stuff. So other than that, we've just been doing our thing, running around doing schedules and stuff. My son's therapies got canceled last week and he was overjoyed about it. So it was a really nice week. All we had was dance in school, and we all very much enjoyed having a more chill week and weekend. What am I looking for? I'm looking for my list of shows I have watched. Where's my photos? Okay. I've watched a lot of shows. I finished The Gangs of London. It was so good. I can't wait till the next season, which they are doing a next season. I think they started filming it a while ago. So hopefully, I think they said scheduled release end of 2025 or end of 2024, beginning of 2025. So hopefully season 3 is coming out soon because it was so good. And then I watched a Netflix documentary called Love on the Run. It was about, I can't remember where it was anymore, about the prison guard lady that fell in love with one of the inmates and she broke him out, and they were on the run for like a whole day, 2 days maybe, before they were in a police chase, wrecked, and she passed away in the accident, and he's back in jail. Like, that was a wild story. That was really, really crazy. I feel like there's a movie about it too. I think there might be a movie about it. And then I got in a mood to watch like old romantic-y movies. So I watched one of my all-time favorites, Ever After, a Cinderella retelling with Drew Barrymore. So good. So good. And then I watched Tuck Everlasting. That movie is so old. I'm pretty sure I hadn't seen it since I was a child. And it's a book. And it's got Abigail. Nope. The girl from Gilmore Girls. I can't think of her name. She plays Winnie. And that's a cute movie. It's just a sweet story. And then, so that's all I got to in that day. I was going to also watch Princess Bride, but I didn't get to it. And then I watched Don't Worry, Darling. I know I've talked about that movie on here, probably the last time I watched it, which was the first time I watched it. And it is, I don't know why my brain is so obsessed with that movie. It's not like an award winner. I don't know. Just something about it really messed with my head. And it's like one of those that I think about all the time sometimes. Like, where are my Roman empires? Don't worry, darling. And I think about what they don't show you. I think about, like, it ends with her just waking up. You don't even see her wake up. You just hear her wake up. What happens next? I have to know. I have to know. And that's what I think about. I think about the reality of something that's not real. Like, I think of the reality of it. It just like runs in my head all the time on a loop. So I watched that. And then we started the new show on HBO called The Penguin with Colin Farrell. We're only 2 episodes in and it's pretty good. But what's blowing my mind is that that's Colin Farrell playing the penguin. He is such a chameleon, and he really shows it in this role. Like, he's wearing a fat suit and a bunch of makeup, and his voice doesn't sound anything like him. It's crazy. It's so impressive just for that. So we will continue on. I think they just put out a new episode a few days ago. And then I've been watching Vampire Diaries. I think I'm only on the 2nd season. It's just one of those shows I've seen so many times, and it feels like autumn and Halloween. So I just turn it on as background noise when I don't need to pay 100% attention. That's what I do with Bones too. And then I tried starting True Blood, which is another vampire show on HBO. It's like an older series. Somebody please tell me if it gets better, because I'm like 4 or 5 episodes in, and I'm like, why was this show so popular? I can't understand it. The vampires are so cheesy. There's so much hissing. Like snakes. So much hissing. And they're just like not attractive. They're not good looking vampires. So I don't know. Does it get better? Does it stay about the same? I'm just not super into it right now. But if it's one of those ones that's like you have to push through, like, I'm willing to do that. Please let me know, somebody. And then we watched Interview with a Vampire because my husband had never watched it all the way through. Sir, I'm pretty sure I watched that movie when I was 10. I've read the book a few times. Like, that's such a good movie. I tried watching the show. The show is pretty good, but I didn't finish it. The movie is just in my heart. I love it. So we watched that. Because now we're getting into like creepy shows. So I need creepy show suggestions because we watched a whole bunch last year. And like, there's one on HBO being pushed really hard right now called Salem's Lot. If you've watched it, please let me know if it's worth it. And then we watched all of our trash TV, Real Housewives of Salt Lake, Sister Wives, and The Plathville. That one has not been good this season. Don't recommend. Housewives has been so good. So good. Like, somebody commented on my last video and I was laughing so hard. They said, Real Housewives of Salt Lake, Secret Lives of Mormon Wives, and Sister Wives. We are blessed. We truly are blessed. Sister Wives, though, has been, it feels like a rerun of last season. Like, every episode feels like, didn't we have this conversation 28 times last season? Like, Robin, please move on. Please move on. They're not coming back. They're not going to sit on the porch with you. Like, Cody is just so angry. Like, you have admitted you did not love these women. So why are you so angry? It's just a narcissist trait, I think. It's a pride thing. So it's been so good. And then we also started Love is Blind. There's a new season of Love is Blind on Netflix. And they just did the first reveal of the first couple last night. So we've been watching that. So that's our trash TV. But I need recommendations for creepy shows. I like psychological thrillers. I don't like horror. There is a season of, on Netflix I need to watch still, The Haunting of Bly Manor. Same director as like Fall of the House of Usher and Haunting of Hill House, and Midnight Mass, which are some of my favorite creepy shows. So I do plan to watch that. But I am looking for any and all recommendations in that kind of zone. So that is it. That's my shows. That's my projects. as far as plans, let's see. I need to look at a calendar. When is the next time I will be seeing you? Because Stitch West is in 2 weeks. I don't have a calendar on this. My calendar's on my phone. That's my whole world. I can't tell. I don't know if I'm going to have a video before Stitch West or not. I feel like I will. I feel like I'll have a video the week of Stitch West. I don't know, we'll see. Anyways, I think I'll see you before I go to Stitch West. But anyways, kind of plans that I have. I don't have any like set plans really, other than I am starting Ghoultide Welcome on the 13th with a few friends, and there's no hashtag or anything. It's very informal. I did some test stitching on possibilities of fabric. So I've got 36 count maple bar, and this was my test swatch for the house color. And I also have 40 count maple bar, and that's my test swatch of stitching. Because I learned about myself, I'm thinking I need to do it on the 36 just because I know I'll be happier. But I am worried about the coverage for the house. I think it'll probably be okay. I also have a piece of the actual called for fabric coming to me, which is Lakeside Linens Vintage Sand Dune in a 36 count. And that is coming to me later this week. So it'll probably come down to a decision between the 36 count maple bar and the sand dune. And as I've said before, I'm using the Vicky Clayton silks. They are so beautiful. I cannot wait to start this project. And then Real Comfort was just released from Paulette, Plum Street Samplers. I've been waiting for this project since she released it at the attic last year. I am so excited for this to come. I've already pre-ordered it through Stephanie at Lady Stitches. I've never pre-ordered charts from her, but I've heard that her shipping is really fast. So, because I really want that chart to bring with me to Stitch West, because I'm going to start it at Stitch West. I think the fabric I'm going to use is, I should have pulled it, but it's the same fabric I stitched my Winds of Autumn, the Crow, on. It's 36 count Colonial Parchment from Fabric by Stephanie. I have a big chunk of that left, and I think the colors will look perfect. There's no creams in this pattern. There's no cream colors. It's all autumnal browns and greens and golds. And I think on a whitish fabric, it'll look so good. So, because Lisa, the Kindred Stitcher, she's stitching hers on a lighter colored fabric. I think it's either an R&R or a Lakeside, and it's looking gorgeous. So I am still trying to decide if I want to do the called for overdyed cottons or order the Vicky Clayton silk pack that she just released for it. Ooh, I love silks, and I love Vicky's silks. So decisions. I need to make them quickly so that I have everything ready to go for Stitch West. Other than that, no specific plans. I'd like to have one of the smaller width eye needles finished in the next few weeks, or both of them, and that's definitely a possibility. They're both like half done or more than half done. And if I get those finished, then who knows, I might start another small. I've got Autumn Splendor and the little, what are they called? The little squirrel couple from With Thy Needle. I have those charts too. I also have, I love fall most of all, the big pumpkin with the little crow that's With Thy Needle. I just love those really small sized ones to do. So I think that's everything. Have I blabbered enough to you guys? I hope that you continue to have all the wonderful stitching days and have really great weather wherever you are. And I will see you in my next video in the next couple weeks. Bye.